Good morning. Welcome to my Wednesday devotional. I hope you guys are doing great and had a great and safe Labor Day weekend, and that you're ready to start your first week, not full week, but partial week of school and work for the fall semester. I know everyone's just really excited to get started. We got a lot of stuff coming up, like PWOC and PMOC and all these other things in school and work and all kinds of great things. So I know it's a hectic time right now, so I thank you for watching. All right, we are on Esther chapter 3. We are on verses 11 and 12 this week. Last week we covered 9 and 10, and if you recall, it talks about Haman. Haman's, remember, he's the bad guy, and he managed to manipulate the king. And I would normally, when I've done this class and taught this class in person, it seemed like, what is wrong with the king? What is the deal? But now that we've slowed this down, this is the first time that I'm really just going, line by line, clip by clip, and I'm able to really think about it a little bit more, really, dig a little bit deeper. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just do more character analysis, like, how did the king get to be so, manipulated by this? We the audience, we're the readers, we can see that Haman's a bad guy. I mean, it's obvious to us. But, if you put yourself back in time and, the king's sitting there, he's just not seeing it yet. He will, don't worry. It's all gonna come home to roost. But right now, we're just taking little snapshots and looking at it and analyzing, how did the king get manipulated? How did Haman do it? Well, Haman, was just really clever. And so, as of last week, what happened? The king agreed to, listening to Haman, and remember, used his signet ring. I know it's a flag. I know it's not the exact same thing, but actually it kind of is, because it's flat and it's like a stamp, and that's what the signet ring is gonna do. It seals the official letter. So we're gonna talk about that here in our next verses. All right. So our next verses for this week is out of chapter 3, like I said, verses 11 and 12. Okay, so now the king said, I remember, because Haman had offered to give 10,000 his own money, and so the king's like, remember, he's very generous. The king said, the money and the people are both yours to do with as you see fit. Whatever. All right, verse 12. So on April 17th, the king's secretaries were summoned, and a decree was written exactly as Haman had dictated. It was sent to the king's highest officers, the governors of the respective provinces, and the nobles of each province in their own scripts and languages. The decree was written in the name of King Xerxes and sealed with the king's signet ring. Okay, I saw on one of my favorite TV shows where the queen, it's almost like they kind of light the ink, and it's like, I don't know how to explain this, but she takes it, and in this case it was like a red ink, and she dips it in and then seals the paper, and it, with the signet ring, it's like a stamp. Those old stamps, you dip it in the ink and then stamp something, and so that's how I'm imagining that this signet ring is like the same thing, where it's, because it's sealed, it seals the thing. So the letter, sorry, my brain today. All right, so we're, I'm imagining it's the king's ring. He's sealing it, like dipping it in the ink, and he's sealing it. And so when it's broken, then they know it's either the letter's been tampered with or, whatever. But when the person receiving the message sees that seal the signet ring, then they know it's official. It came from the king. So the fact that the king gave his signet ring, to Haman, and then Haman took that ring of power and dictated to the secretaries, and they listened and they did exactly what he said, because he's got the signet ring, right? And sent out the letter. Now remember, it's not, in those days, it's not like they have email or text or some kind of way to do a formal letter. So it was with this ring, and the decree was written on the scripts, rolled up, and bam, sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered, right? So, much different process, but it's still a lot of power was in this little ring. And so we're going to see how this shakes out. But, we saw last week that Haman was manipulating the king, and now we're seeing where the king's like, oh, go ahead, do whatever you want with the money and the people. I don't care, It's just amazing. And you see it's kind of shocking at first, like, man, how could the king just be so blasé about everything? But we're going to see, right off the cuff, this doesn't look good. But then again, you kind of look in the context of, he's got a lot of higher officers and governors of all these provinces. I mean, the king's in charge of pretty much everything. So maybe the king's mind, we're just kind of guessing here, we don't know. But maybe the king just, maybe it's how he dealt with things. He just had to categorize, I just don't have time for these little details. And maybe he's like, oh, I trust Haman, because he didn't see anything wrong at this point. He will, and so he's like, yeah, have the ring, do whatever, I'm kind of busy. So, it'd be interesting to find out, what else was on the king's mind that, people are going to die, and, he's just like, But maybe it just didn't all register. So we're going to see. I don't want to spoil it. So stick with me, please. All right. That's it for this week, and I thank you very much for watching. Hope you're having a good week. I know 4-day weeks, a little rough, but then we really start going here. Full 5-day weeks. We get into fall semester and holidays. Oh goodness. Then colder weather. Oh my. Busy. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll take care, and we'll see you guys next week.